Greetings and welcome to the Energy of Leo. The fifth house is open. Thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for supporting the effort. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will and use your discernment. This shall not resonate for everyone. However, if it does for you, some narrative archetypes as well as systems of karma may be applicable, and use your best judgment to see if it fits in terms of your path or whatever that may be. Yes, so I will be doing a 9-card spread known as the Great Mirror. The Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order of the Twin Sun in order to see apparent karmas between a significant other and the energy of Leo. So the energy of Leo and a significant other, vice versa. So the mirror shows essentially the apparent karmas that may exist between you and a significant other. In terms of how deep it goes, we shall see. Let's go ahead and begin with a small karma reading. Also, there will be an available additional reading. The extended will be available for this particular spread. That can be made available via email. Just email me at the About section. Thank you. Mhm. Okay. Dual fives. Okay. So this has to do with the right path, trying to figure out if it's the right path. There's a great deal of isolation that surrounds the energy of Leo. The sun is trying to find a place to rest. Okay, there's difficulty, lots of difficulty in terms of finding a sense of purpose within this alienation. There also is a possibility that that there is a slight return to something of the past. This involves a great commitment of sorts, family perhaps, some sort of legality or a deep commitment to a situation, a relation. There's a choice to be made with difficulty, hard work, and understanding in a retroactive way why things have panned out, okay, the way they did. There's a sense of you getting away from it all, but then there also is a looming sense of regret or doubt. Um, but I think in earnest, there is a possibility also um, for you to. Oh, there it is, Two of Cups. Yeah, for you to essentially move forward in ways of bringing forward a new future that revolves around especially um, inspiration or at least intuition in terms of the path of Dharma, trying to understand how things can be righteous in the future. But for the time being, what crowns it all is a great sense of expectation. Okay, with the cup sequence here, the queen can find a great deal of healing as she looks to the future. Yet there also is something of a laurel that is being handed back to the past. Okay. Okay. So we shall begin with the Great Mirror. As I've mentioned before, the Great Mirror is a tool devised to see apparent karmas. Okay, these can be illusory in nature, metaphysical for sure. Spiritual undertones will be quite revealing. Hopefully, we can go deep in this. Fifth house is open. Pardon. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, okay, that's good. Um, so difficulty, to say the least. There's a need for you to assert what you can be devoted to, and there's a pronounced, excuse me, pronounced feeling of a type of anguish, either mental pain or duress, in terms of the mental cycles that go through your mind. But what is being sought out for, especially in relation to this with to communication or commune with a significant other, is the sense of the Four of Swords emerging out of it. Also, the quest for the Ace of Swords. Okay, this involves a great deal of personal devotion, devotion to the self, mostly a great deal of healing, as well as rest and resuscitation is needed. Okay, and this comes through meditation. This comes through also good and restful sleep. Through this, the subconscious can be visited in order to understand um, what can be learned in terms of the generosity of this other person that is missing, a lack of generosity, a lack of charitability, but also this reflects within you. Perhaps there's something that no longer needs to learn much from or glean much from them or expect much from them at all. Um, Yet there is this sense of difficulty in terms of the cycles of the mind. There is a nervous complex that uh, that that is here, at least for the present moment, that is consciously self-aware, that is known. Okay, so the idea is to calm the system, calm the nervous system, especially, and find a sense of equilibrium in terms of that. A great deal of obstacles may also be hindering you in terms of delivering this restful state into the future. Okay, and this is something that may be an effect of your connection with someone who reflects you in a certain way. The five of five of Pentacles showed up earlier, and this is more directed towards the energy of Mars. Okay, so there is um, a lot of action in terms of creating solitude coming from their end. Okay, um, it's as if they've dressed up to go to war, yet there's no one to fight, and therefore there is a calling or a declaration of peace in some twisted sort of way, needing to lay down arms and essentially come up with a sense of parlay in some sort of way. Okay, the difficulty is that things are halved when it comes to the contracts or the promises made from this individual to you, and vice versa. And not only that, difficulty, dryness about the way they consciously approach this, perhaps even abrasiveness, causing friction. There's a lot of a difficulty here in terms of that. You're dealing with someone um, who doesn't really know what to do in terms of their own utility. They're trying to find a sense of balance, especially in the realm of it would be Gemini, uh, um, the twin, Aries, the Fool. But it's not the Fool; it's Aries energy. Excuse me. So, in this respect, the soul connection is based on versions of the self versus versions of the other, and trying to find a way to correlate in terms of the axis of Aries and Libra. Okay. Um, there's an extremity of self-critical ways of thinking that puts you into a mode of paralysis, or at least into a mode of rest, which can be relieving in some respect, but a great deal of healing, as I've mentioned, is still required on your end. There's something about this person that does not know how to practice proper modes of devotion. Their backs are turned to you. That's how they want it, but at the same time, the very vehicle that they bring into reality is very difficult, because it's trying to shift back into the sort of connection, but they seem to mirror you, at least in terms of the Garçon Bron, which is the Page of Pentacles. But then the Page of Pentacles has a horse here that wants to return. So it's terribly confusing in terms of the numbers of 66 to 67. There's a mystery about them, and perhaps there's 12, 13. There's something more steadfast in your energy that brings forth a sense of difference. There's a difference of an opinion here, and what you're trying to bring forth is something that is more realistic. But also, there is an incredible amount of self-criticism that needs to be confronted before any further hurt comes in the mind of the fifth house, okay, of Leo. Um, so there could be, excuse me, a sense of order in isolation, in which both of you are trying to ruminate, or at least become sort of stabilized in some sort of way. But yours is more of an inner thing, theirs is more of an external thing. And they seem to get off on abrasive ways of action in order to bring a sense of order, but then in doing so, they just create calamity, or at least confusion in some sort of way. At the same time, there's a great deal of faith within this connection, in that they seem to bring forth um, the need to have some sort of grounding. If you think of the first step of a fool over a cliffside, they would like for Earth to materialize below the next step, and it requires a great deal of faith to do that. In that respect, there's a great deal of obscurity in the way they are doing things in a practical way. Yet they intend to be practical, but then it's more abrasive for you, and perhaps that's something that you do not want to meet halfway. Okay. I see here there's a sense of disagreement. This has to do with bringing forth, excuse me, bringing forth an intensity, okay? Intensity that comes from, excuse me, the mystery on their end, and a need to bring forth an extreme intensity that is emotionally intelligent in some respect. But their actions seem to dictate something different, and for now there is a great deal of stagnation that they probably don't even realize there is. Um, the thing is that what's trying to be brought about is a sense of stillness of the mind, okay? Communication in some sort of respect, but also the need to ignore each other is also very strong here, in order to, excuse me, to make things fair, or to make things at least um, non-abrasive. Okay, this is through silence mostly, but also stillness of the mind comes out of the Knight of Swords in the reverse. The Seven of Cups indicates that on the soul level here, there is a structure that is trying to be created together, and there's an intense way of bringing forth the Eight of Cups, which in sequence does not bode well. Okay, the karma is strong here, and it has to do with, once again, bridging the idea of the self from one end into the idea of the other in the other end, okay, which is essentially movement from the first to the seventh house. The difficulty is that it's there's a type of structure that is emerging out of this that is based on emotional intensity mostly. Um, and I think there's something about you that wants to essentially move forward and move beyond this connection, to find a place of rest and peace, okay, which is a fair thing. Uh, what emerges on a conscious level is the idea of Pisces 12th house energy, also the hanged man, um, temptation, conquering temptation is here. There's a great deal of memories and thoughts that make each other mutually exclusive, um, excluding each other, okay, out of the equation in order to avoid toxicity, in order to avoid especially dissolution. Something needs to be confronted here, that has to do with the intensified sort of desire that is brought through the realm of Neptune, the dream, and to find a sense of rest and relaxation there. There is a way to build up Kriya and a way to build up karmic energy, momentum, in order to essentially erase this from all memory, indeed, through the Akash. But there also is a need for you to realize that what emerges out of this is um, a need to center in on one's thoughts and make those pure, to be able to curate your thoughts in order so that you no longer have a great deal of expectation within this, okay? And that is the key to this. If things are not expected, if things are naturally sort of guided into a type of order that involves a great deal of isolation before any form of union into the future, then there is a possibility for open arms and a way to essentially relish in extremely romantic possibilities. But we will look forward into the extended. I'm going to pull more in terms of secondary layer and go further into the mystery about them in terms of their realities, what they expect out of the situation, also how and what you are looking for in terms of the dream world, as well as the subconscious. How deep is this process of meditation going for you? We'll also look into some of the obstacles that occur between you and this other. But my dear Leo, if this is where we leave off, then please take care. Toss a like if you will, subscribe, and yeah, if you would like that extended, it is available on the other side. I can send you an email link with essentially a link to download and whatnot. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.